way the play is, but can you see?
Connor has the puck, made a great shot. One to the second, and that's the score. There it is. Oliver Connor gets the first score of the game.
It's Burley hit the three. Leo scores. Great shot. Score! Sophie Vernon slides the back of the net from the faceoff circle, and with 1:14 to go, the Raiders take a 3-2 lead.
And welcome back to another playoff edition of Black Red Blitz. As always, I'm your host, Rebecca Karen. Well, you've waited for it, actually longer than usual, which is my bad. But hey, it's finally here. So let's get right to the non-stop tourney action that continues in this episode. So it would be a busy Wednesday here as boys lacrosse would kick off a triple dose of Wellesley sports on the same day. After that first round victory, Raiders would find themselves on the road for the D1 South quarterfinals. Facing the Duxbury Dragons would not be unfamiliar for Wellesley, as these two teams faced each other back in the 2014 postseason, where the Dragons outlasted the Raiders in the downpouring rain to take the sectional semifinals. On this game day, though, at least the weather would be much better. But still, the challenge would remain, as Wellesley would have some tough competition here against a Duxbury team that dominates the Patriot League every season. Right out of the gate, Duxbury is aggressive, making multiple shots on goal to test Wellesley's defense. Before Matt Gill, starting from the X, goes with the deke, spins past Anders Pinot, gets free and slings it into the back of the net to give Dragons the early advantage here. Winning the face-off again, Dragons strike again. Upfield, Joe Gooley sends it to John Antea. Antea, a defenseman, keeps it, fires and nets it top shelf for the score. 2-0 Duxbury lead already, before Wellesley even gets a chance in their own offensive zone. So deeper into the first quarter we go, Dragons up a 3 spot till Matt Gill makes it more, off his second goal to this opening frame, pushing Wellesley's deficit to 4 goals. So faced with an early uphill battle in these first 11 minutes, Raiders spring into action here, just under a minute left to the opening frame. So Michael Bones makes his move, finds separation around George Ravegno, and whips it past goalie Henry Weld. Raiders needed that one as we head into the second quarter, and it's 4-1 Duxbury. As the seconds barely tick away these next 12 minutes though, Wellesley does not want momentum to switch right back to the Dragons. Will Manning out deep cranks a great shot towards net, but it hits post to Michael Bones. Bones gets the ground ball and in traffic still fires the putback home. And that second chance goal, that's the deficit to 4-2. But just over the 2-minute mark to halftime, Dragons get back that 3-goal advantage here as Bobby Mamoran dishes it outside to Charlie Gaines. And Gaines grounds it into the cage. So after the first saw 4 quick Duxbury scores, their offense since then has been somewhat contained, thanks to Wellesley's defense. So here in this third, 5-2 is a Raiders deficit. But Wellesley's offense remains relentless around the crease. That definitely pays off right here as Brennan Conroy feeds it to Nick Marvin, and Marvin fights off a John Antea hard check and still finds the cage. Clutch score there by Marvin helps Wellesley cut it to 5-3, and still plenty of game left here to play. But as Dragons net 2 more before the third comes to a close and take a 7-3 lead into the fourth and final quarter, that offensive spark is what helps Duxbury pull away here for good in the final 12 minutes. As Riley Bergstrom and Jack Wood keep the pressure coming, making it that much harder for the Raiders to try and piece together a comeback here on the road. So deep in this fourth, it's now 10-3 Duxbury. But what you won't see is this Raiders team stop competing. With a ton of effort on the turf, the shot attempts keep coming, but yield no results. Until Brennan Conroy delivers a laser shot here that finds all net, but still down by 6, and the minutes to regulation fading away fast, and unfortunately is too little, too late. So with a final record of 14-6, Raiders may have just seen their season come to an abrupt end here in the quarterfinals, but there would be no reason to hang their heads. Behind a solid group of seniors, 14 to be exact, stacked with 4 captains ready to lead, this 2017 season is something every senior and every player can be proud of. Wellesley's season may have ended here in a loss to Duxbury, but there's no doubt this team will be back. Final here, Wellesley falls in the quarterfinals as the Dragons outlast the Raiders 10-4. But Wednesday's action continues as baseball would be down in Barnstable, continuing to keep their postseason alive with another upset. Girls lacrosse will be left to see if their two solid victories over Milton and Braintree would help them get through their next big challenge. In what seems like year after year, their trip to the sectional semifinals always takes them through Westwood, the forever #1 seed in Division I South. But this year, it's different, as this time around, we head to Wellesley's top rival, the Needham Rockets. As we head to the action, almost 10 minutes fly by with surprisingly no score on the board. But around the 15-minute mark, one thing becomes clear. Needham has a ton of weapons in their lineup. One of their top offensive threats is Captain Sarah Conley. And after that first score, Conley sinks in yet another one, and a timeout is quickly called by Wellesley to regroup. As two quick Needham scores there are not what the Raiders want to see, as anything can light a spark in Needham's offense. Raiders looking to cut into this deficit, though, get a great play right here. Maddie Balter finds Brooke Baker, and Baker, with the stutter step, fights to gain separation away from Chloe Newman. Still being defended well, Baker slings it low anyways, and Brooke Baker finds the net. That's exactly what Wellesley needed right there, as the deficit stands in at 3-1. After Rockets connect again behind Sarah Conley's fourth score, Callie Hem brings down one of her own to make it 5-1 Needham. But down by 4, Raiders stay with a consistent, aggressive pace as well. Grace Ahonen makes a solid play right here and buries the finish just as well. Wellesley is down 5-2, but fighting to keep it close. Quick upfield passing on this Rockets breakaway is just so hard to stop, and that results in Maeve Barker whipping it into the cage for the fast break finish. But while we're on the subject of finishes, though, how about this play? As Raiders in their own offensive end make this one count, as nothing is going to stop sophomore Maddie Balter from burying this, flip and all. And as Wellesley remains down here 6-3, they're still in the race the deeper we go into this first. But taking advantage of these last 10 minutes to the opening half, though, Rockets continue to be aggressive and continue to get results. As Sarah Conley's 5th score of the half comes right here. It makes it 8-3 Needham. Fantastic defense by Phoebe Lawrence here creates this loose ball in Rockets' own end. Somehow that still helps Needham, as Caroline Walsh recovers it and buries it right back into the back of the net. No matter the fight Wellesley brings, things just keep going Rockets' way here. The first 25 minutes goes to Needham, leading 10-3. So let's fast forward to the second half. Under 12 minutes to go, after Kendall Milligan's free position score here makes it a commanding 14-3 Needham lead. Despite save after save by goalie Liz Valentini, the current score may not reflect it, but these Raiders are fighting hard, and staying aggressive in their offensive zone. Just on this day, Rockets' Liz Valentini is just playing on another level. So with 9 minutes left and counting, what shows here is a ton of heart by this Wellesley team. As Brooke Baker finally finds a way past Valentini in this second half to halt Needham's 4-0 run. Get one back here for Raiders. Next on this free position, Maddie Balter instead slings it ahead to Brooke Baker, and Baker nets it for back-to-back scores. Grace Ahonen then dekes around Steffi Wallace and brings it home for 3 Raiders scores unanswered, just a matter of minutes. Maddie Balter would then finish up the second half scoring here, and though a final 14-7 score may not necessarily seem close, the defensive dimension Liz Valentini was in at least took away 5 or 6 legit scoring chances that any other day would have gone Wellesley's way. So on this day, Needham would win this battle. Confirming a complete roster like theirs, it's just so hard to stop. Their semifinal victory here would just be the start for them, as no other team in the tourney could stop them either, as the Needham Rockets would end up being the Division I state champions. Cole Callahan and Sophie Vandervelde would be the only 2 graduating. So while their leadership and pure talent will definitely be missed for sure next season, the core group on offense as well as defensively remains intact. And with the likes of Kaylin Tchaikovsky, Maddie Balter, Grace Ahonen, and Brooke Baker returning a year older, more experienced, and even stronger, well, this team's future looks bright. So with Raiders baseball turning around their season late in May to make it into the playoffs as the number 13 seed, the Raiders would be the underdogs to the postseason. Expected to lose early in the first round and just enjoy an early summer. Just don't tell them that. Actually, say it anyways. They'll be happy to prove prove you wrong. Sparking an unforgettable postseason so far on the road, Raiders have already met up with 4th-seeded Mansfield to beat them, and 5th-seeded Barnstable to beat them too. So now here we are at Adams Field for the Division I sectional semifinals, where Wellesley would take on the Durfee HILLTOPPERs. Now Durfee had their own shocker as well just to get here. Not just beating Franklin, the #1 seed, but doing it by way of a huge blowout. So it's a fantastic evening here for playoff baseball. Durfee holds a 1-0 edge until we open up the top third. The Raiders getting 2 quick outs stacked against them here. But before you can say 1-2-3 inning, John Cholfie reaches on a walk, and Henry Weicker makes sure Cholfie isn't staying there too long, ripping this 1-0 pitch deep to right past Nick Salmon all the way to the warning track. That easily drives in Cholfie all the way from first base. The Raiders are pumped. It's now 1-1. After Jack Wiesel keeps this third inning alive on an infield single, runners are on the corners. Raiders go with some trick play calling here. It's a delayed double steal as Jack Wiesel does his job heading for second, distracting pitcher Tommy Lambert in a rundown, all the while leaving Henry Weicker the chance to make a break towards home. The throw comes to the plate but not in time. Wellesley leads for the first time here 2-1, all with 2 outs. With things continuing to go Wellesley's way, let's go with this squeeze bunt by Matt MIAA, still with 2 outs. Tommy Lambert picks it up but rushes the throw. It sails way too high and over first baseman John Paul McDonald. McDonald and MIAA collide, and MIAA takes the worst of it. Thankfully, Matt MIAA would be okay, and he's also safe. So Jack Wiesel would score on that error, and behind timely hitting with 2 gone, Raiders strike for 3 runs in this third, and now lead 3-1. Getting the leadoff man on this bottom third, though, HILLTOPPERS start their own rally here. John Paul McDonald's rocket shot into center gets misplayed by John Cholfie. Brennan Dolan backs up the play, though, and helps get the cutoff throw back in. But by then, McDonald stands on third base with the RBI, cutting it to 3-2. Then their catcher, Zach Sousa, a big dude, a huge threat on offense, steps up to the plate. Sousa sees one pitch, and that's all he needs, as that ball clears the fences fast and then some. And no one is catching that ball. Zach Sousa with the 2-run blast gives Durfee back their 1-run edge and lead 4-3. Top 5th, Raiders bats will not be silenced. 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out. Colin Blasco hits it to left. Lucas Sousa's diving effort falls just short, and Blasco stands in at second base. With a clutch 2-run double, Wellesley retakes the lead once again 5-4. Isaac Weicker lines it past the infield into left field, and Colin Blasco gets waved around. Coming around third, it's a race to the plate as Zach Sousa stretches out as far as possible to lay down the tag, but Colin Blasco spins away from his glove and is safe. Maybe a bare inch comes between an out and this run. Insanely close, but Raiders complete another fantastic inning and lead here 6-4 in the 5th. So we fast forward to the bottom of the 7th. Durfee with one last chance at bat. Betty Goss on the mound in relief for Wellesley, looking to close out this game. But Ethan Ferreira leads off with a single, followed by Nathan Ladera, and by the time the dust settles, Ferreira has scored, and Nathan Ladera's got an RBI triple, sparking his teammates. Durfee remains down 6-5, but 1 run closer. Zach Sousa, already having a 2-run homer on the day, now stands in with a tying run 60 feet away. Sousa gets a lot of this pitch, and Ladera scores on the sac fly, and they're tied up at 6-6. Free playoff baseball is coming up. Fast forward to bottom 8th. Durfee loads them up. 1 out and a huge chance for a walk-off. Bring in freshman pitcher Max Zajac. No pressure. Ethan Ferreira flies out to shallow center to Brendan Dolan. Is it deep enough? While HILLTOPPERS send the runner, and bing, bang, boom, he wasn't deep enough. What a throw by Brendan Dolan as Dolan made Durfee pay. No game-winning sac fly walk-off. Just a clutch, inning-ending, rally-killing kind of double play. So no matter how long Durfee's head coach yells at the ump, insisting the runner was safe, fact remains. That was huge for Wellesley. And Durfee missed out on a huge chance themselves. And so not complaining here at all, but that risk the HILLTOPPERS just took gives the momentum back to Wellesley. So, top of the 9th, shall we? 1 out already here, but Colin Blasco with a deep grounder to short hustles down the line and beats out the throw. Blasco seconds later with a key stolen base. We get a runner in scoring position here in the 9th. So with every out a must for Durfee, This error here would be the dagger to their season, as Curtis Perry's throw from third isn't even close to get Isaac Weicker out at first. Colin Blasco gets waved around to home with another race to the plate. And again, Colin Blasco just clutch, escapes the tag, slides home and taps the plate with his left hand. Raiders capitalize on another crucial Hilltoppers mistake. And thanks to Isaac Weicker and Colin Blasco in this ninth, Raiders lead 7-6. We have 3 more outs to go. Tension fills this crowd in the benches, so only 1 run separates these two sides. Here in the bottom 9th, John Paul McDonald lifts a 1-out single to left to give his team hope. And while Durfee's big hitter Zach Sousa is at the plate, ready to do damage yet again, freshman pitcher Max Zajac again looks calm, delivers the pitch, and Sousa grounds it to second. And this 4-6-3 double play by Matt Maiona and Isaac Weicker just in time. And that is it. The Raiders win. The bench empties as the players go crazy, and, well, they should, as their exciting playoff run lives yet another new game. And after multiple lead changes and close plays at the plate, we go to extras and Wellesley pulls off a fantastic win in the 9th inning and hold off Durfee for good. What a game. And what a team effort here as Wellesley outlasts Durfee in 9 long innings by the final 7-6. So coming off that tremendous semifinal win over Durfee, the Raiders would head into the sectional finals with something extra added to their lineup that would make them even harder to beat. Something called confidence. And here at Campanelli Stadium on Sunday, Wellesley would not only be playing at a fantastic location here in Brockton, but get another shot at revenge against the Bridgewater Raynham Trojans, the same team last year who knocked them right out of the playoffs in the first round. So after the Trojans get out of a bases-loaded jam here in this first, leaving Wellesley with nothing to show for their efforts, bottom second, it's Bridgewater Raynham's turn to start a rally here with 2 on. But sophomore pitcher Michael Kenny comes in relief and gets Tony Fernandez to ground into this solid double play. Then, with the go-ahead run 60 feet away, Ryan Sarconi chips it right back to the mound. Michael Kenny has it, throws there, just like that, Raiders get out of this threat unscathed as well. So we are scoreless after 2. Top third, Brendan Dolan takes off at second base on this hit and run play, and Henry Weicker pulls a laser down the first base line. Outfielder Chris Urbano gets to it fast. Dolan gets the green light to home. Urbano's throw is solid, and right there with a bang-bang tag, as Dolan says safe, but the home plate ump says otherwise. Still 0-0, don't forget, Henry Weicher's at second base. Jack Wiesel hits a sharp grounder to third. Ryan Sarconi's throw isn't even close, and that throwing error gets Weicker past third and heading for home. This time, the play at the plate is clearly more than safe. And Wellesley gets on the board first here, taking advantage of a Trojans mistake and lead 1-0. Bottom 6, talk about a loud strike here as Chris Pfeiffer gets all of this pitch and then some. But it's just foul. But Chris Pfeiffer fights off more pitches in a long at-bat, and that results in a hard-fought single that puts an end to Michael Kenny's solid stint in relief. With Pfeiffer now on second, Bridgewater Raynham's pitcher Mike DeBari helps out his own cause and rips an RBI double to left. In this tight game, Trojans tied up in the 6th, 1-1. Next batter, Bobby Long, lays down the squeeze bunt, and Max Zajac can't get to it either. So the runners on the corners now, in a 1-1 game, well, bring on sophomore Teddy Goss to the mound for Wellesley. Before even throwing a pitch, Raiders anticipate a double steal. Teddy Goss from the mound throws it to third. Kai Groke, in a rundown between third and home with Mike DeBari, Groke tags out DeBari, and that is the first clutch out of this inning. Then Chris Urbano flies out to left center, and John Cholfi brings it down thanks to some speed and a solid grab. Now, 2 gone. Tony Fernandez then lifts this one deep to left. But Colin Blasco, despite seeing the fence in foul territory quickly closing in on him, focuses on making the catch instead. Grabbing it in foul ground, that completes 3 clutch outs the Raiders just got. When it looked like Trojans would be walking out of this 6th with a lead, having runners on and nobody out. Instead, we head to the final inning and a 1-1 game. You gotta give starting pitcher Mike DeBari some credit here, as he has done a solid job on the mound trying to keep his teammates in the game. But here, top 7th, Wellesley's bats finally get the upper hand here. Jason Maiona, pinch hitting, lines it back up the middle for a key single. And after advancing on a wild pitch, Maiona represents the go-ahead run here on second. After a mound visit, Mike DeBari stays in. But on the next pitch, John Trophy makes Trojans regret that and just crushes the ball all the way to the warning track. The cutoff throw is off target as well, and no hesitation, Trophy slides in safely at third base. Clutch hitting here by Wellesley when it counts, as John Trophy's ribby scores MIAA and gives Raiders a 2-1 edge. So now, Mike DeBarry's day is done, and Colin Rayon comes on in relief. But it's the same result, as this time Brendan Dolan blasts it to right field. Outfielder John Stork ain't catching this shot that easily scores John Trophy. And when all is said and done, Brendan Dolan is standing at third base for the RBI triple. The Raiders are celebrating a 3-1 lead with only 3 more outs standing in the way of a divisional trophy. Are you pumped yet? So, bottom 7. Last chance for Bridgewater Raynham for this game and for their season. Teddy Goss remains on the mound to put this game away. And Goss, just absolutely in his zone here, gets Ryan Sarconi down on strikes for a quick first out. Carter Peterson then flies out to left to Colin Blasco. 2 gone. Can you feel the tension? Down to their last out, John Stork fights hard for the 2-out walk. And now it's up to Colin Trayon to keep any Trojans' hopes alive. The pitch. Trayon hits it to left. Brendan Dolan is under it, Dolan makes the catch, and for the first time since 2005, your 13th seeded Wellesley Raiders, the underdogs, are the Division I South Sectional champions. And as this team celebrates their incredible accomplishments, here's one thing to remember. For this 2017 tourney, these players had to do it all on the road, beat 4 higher seeded teams in a row just to get here. Unbelievable, exciting, and inspiring. And here at Campanelli Stadium, it's a 3-1 victory over Bridgewater Raynham and a hard-earned trophy to proudly show off. But for Wellesley, they ain't done just yet. That does it for now, but catch next week's episode as we finish up baseball's incredible playoff run, as we just focus in on the last 2 games, the state semifinals and the game every high school athlete dreams of playing in, the state championship. But for now, check us out on demand at wellesleymedia.org, our YouTube and Facebook pages at Wellesley Public Media, and of course, right here on Comcast 9 and Verizon 39. As always, thanks so much for watching Black Red Blitz. Go Raiders.
He's got some room to run. Kishman in for a touchdown.